Okay, guys, step 3 today, obviously, step 2 yesterday, step 1 the day before that. Hopefully, you have an understanding of 1 and 2. The short version is step 1, insanity or death. Either go back to drinking or we live life on a spiritual basis. There's no door number 3. Step 2, to live a life along spiritual principles. Okay? Life on a spiritual basis. Step 2. Okay? So now step 3, I got confused when I was new. I thought step 3 was where we turn our will and our life over the care of God. So if I had a problem at work, or a problem with the girlfriend, or a problem with a family member or a neighbor, I'm just going to turn it over. Step 3, just turn it over. Problem is with that, we're not turning anything over at step 3. We're making a decision to turn our will, which is our thinking, and our lives, which is just all of our actions. We're making a decision to turn our thinking and our actions, which is our will and our life, over to the care of God. We're making a decision. If I make a decision right now to go down the store and get some milk and I don't go, it was just a decision. So the book says, this is a vital and crucial step, but will have no permanent effect unless at once followed by a strenuous effort to face and be rid of the things that were blocking us from letting God direct us. Okay? So how are we going to carry out that decision? We're going to carry out the decision by working the remaining 9 spiritual steps. And then by the time you get to step 11, that's when we have a spiritual awakening. Not 12, because 12 says as a result, right? So when you get to step 11 on the bottom of 87, it says, as we go through the day, we're going to pause when agitated or doubtful. And we're going to ask God for the next right thought, or will. And we're going to ask Him for the next right action, our life. He's now going to direct our life. He's now going to direct our action. Why? Because we removed everything in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We've had a spiritual awakening. Now it's step 12, we can bring that back to the new guy. Like I said before, all he has to do is believe. So not only is step 3 not the solution, not only do we not turn it over there, but I'll read it in the book. Step 3 is basically the problem. Step 3, page 62. Selfishness and self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. This is step 3 now. Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity, we step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. Sometimes they hurt us, seemingly without being provoked. But we invariably find that at some time in the past, we have made decisions based on self, which later places us in a position to be hurt. See, we got to get rid of self. See, most people got right and wrong. Everybody knows right and wrong. The alcoholic, we have 3 things. We got right, wrong, and in the middle, the big one is what I want to do. Right, wrong, and what I want to do. And the alcoholic is always doing what I want to do. And we got to get rid of that. That's called self. Self-will run riot. We got to get rid of that. If we don't get rid of it, it says it will kill us. Okay? God makes that possible. And there often seems no way of entirely getting rid of self without His aid. Many of us had moral and philosophical. And how do we get His aid? By working the rest of the steps. It said, neither could we reduce our self-centeredness much by wishing or trying on our own willpower. We had to have God's help. And then there's a prayer. I'm not going to read it, but we were now at step 3. Many of us said to our Maker as we understood Him, God, I offer myself to Thee to build with me and to do with me as Thou wilt. Okay, that's a step 3 prayer. But over here, we had to be convinced of 3 things. We had to be convinced that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism, and that God could and would if He were sought. So we got to know what step 1 is, and we got to know what step 2 is, 100%, or we can't do step 3. So step 3, I'm going to simplify it for people that are new. All step 3 is a decision. And it's really a decision between steps 1 and 2, and there's no door number 3. So it's either go back to drinking, insanity, or death, or it's live life on a spiritual basis. Insanity or death or life on a spiritual basis, and there is no other option. There's no just don't go to meetings and just don't drink and and just be good and be bored all the time, right? Without the fellowship, it's drinking. Without the fellowship, it's insanity or death. With the fellowship, it's insanity or death, or life on a spiritual basis. And we're making a decision in 3 to pick one of those 2. There is no 3. There's no door number 3. I want to live. I love my son. I like myself. I just have a disease. I'm going to pick life on a spiritual basis. And when I pick life on a spiritual basis, I'm going to get busy immediately with step 4. But step 4 is not where we turn our like we're making a decision to do it. But step 4 is not where we turn our life over to the care of God, our will in our life. It's part of it. It's the start of it. So we're going to turn our will, which is our thinking, I'll say it again, and our life, which is our actions. And we're going to do it by doing steps thoroughly and honestly, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And we're going to clear away all that stuff that's blocking us from God. And then when we get to 11, and I'll say it again, when we go through the day, we get agitated and doubtful and angry, we're going to ask God for the next right thought or action. And then on the next page, there's a set of promises. We got to remind ourselves all day long. We're constantly reminding ourselves we are no longer running the show, man. We just did 11 steps. We got to constantly remind ourselves, thy will be done. And then we're in much less danger of excitement and worry and self-pity and anger and foolish decisions. We become more efficient in all parts of our life. Our love life, our family life, our work life. We sleep better when God's directing us. So we're just making a decision in 3. 3 is really talking about what the problem is. We're selfish and self-centered. So because of that, and I don't want to go back to insanity or death, I want to live life on a spiritual basis. So because of that, I'm going to work all the steps. And the step 11 promises say we're going to be more efficient. We're not going to tire so easily. We're going to have all this good stuff come. We're going to have all this good stuff come to our life because of what? Because we remove stuff. So when you remove stuff, there's nothing left over but good stuff. And I hope that simplifies it. Step 3 is a decision only. And it's between insanity or death and life on a spiritual basis. 3rd time I said it because it's really important. And you get to choose. Are you a real alcoholic? Are you going to drink again for sure? Are you going to die? And do you have a problem applying a few spiritual principles in your life? And if the answer is yes, you're a real alcoholic, and the answer is no, I don't have a problem applying a couple of spiritual principles in life because I've only get nothing but great stuff from it, I become more efficient, then you're going to pick step 2. You're going to live life on a spiritual basis, and you're going to make that decision. And you're going to giddy up, and you're going to get started with step 4. You're going to go all the way to 12, and you're going to go back to the new guy because helping the new guy is part of the program. Now, remember I said you don't give it away to keep it, you give it away to get it. Step 12 is a big part of the program. So I talked enough. Hopefully I explained step 3 as simple as I can. Try not to make the videos too long. But if you need somebody to help you with this, if you need somebody to explain the spiritual principles and how to apply them and what things to read during the day and night, give me a call. Email me. WhatsApp me. Whatever. I'm not in it for the money. I got 26 sponsees. I don't charge them a cent. Okay? They're all staying sober. Every sponsee. And I'm not bragging. I just know the book. I just happen to work the program. I'm just one of the guys out there that have worked the program. And I know I'd save my life. So it's my shame on me if I don't help somebody with medicine that can cure a disease that'll kill you. Shame on me if I don't help somebody. I'm not God. I just know how to stay sober. I got 19 years of sobriety. It's almost like a PhD in AA. I don't even know how to turn on Instagram. I got a guy helping me turn on Instagram. I'm not a genius. But Einstein said, it's not that I'm so smart, I just stay on the problem a lot longer. And alcoholism is a problem. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. A little long. Love you all. I am going to definitely have a great day. And I hope you do too. Bye for now.